Hi, welcome to SK Live. Today with me is JSW Sports CEO Mustafa Ghouse. I'm going to welcome him now. Hi, Mustafa. Hello.
Hi. How are you?
Hi. Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
Great. Hi. Thank you, firstly, for agreeing to this. And I know you've just been back to the UAE, I guess, from the Delhi Capitals where you were watching the matches. I saw you on TV. So,
I'm back to the
great.
UAE actually right now.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry
Yeah.
then. Hi. So great. Nice to have you here. So I'm going to just ask you about, the entire work JSW Sports is doing, among other things, sports business related. So my first question obviously has to be, how drastically has the business model of JSW been affected due to the ongoing pandemic, and how are you actually tackling all those challenges?
So obviously it was a very difficult situation for everyone. No one envisioned it to be this way, and no one envisioned it to last this long. Where on one part, happy that live sport is back and professional leagues have resumed in India, and I guess considering the IPL, while it's in the UAE, also as part of that. Of course, there have been impacts. We are playing in empty stadiums behind closed doors. We are not being able to do all the things that we would have usually done. Um, Pre-season, during the season, with regards to sponsor engagements, activities, etc. So that all makes a big difference, and it impacts us even from a P&L perspective. But on the other side, I think the uh, the excitement around seeing live sport return has been something that everyone has been craving. And from a television perspective and a viewership perspective, I mean, everyone is well aware of the type of numbers that the IPL is getting, and we expect that to continue when we go into football season and everything thereafter. So it's a bit of a balancing act. We've had to reassess where we see things over the next, I would say, 12 months, where we are going to be impacted when it comes to gate receipts and certain elements of sponsor activities. But at the same time, with television and digital playing such a big part, we hope that we can compensate some elements of that, through these factors.
Obviously you've mentioned about, there weren't obviously any preseason activities and something, and sponsorship and marketing must have taken a huge hit. So do you think sponsorship and marketing dynamics have now changed, like, how, what brands are seeing, or how, if they are willing, to come forward to sponsor or not? So what are the dynamics, existing
Yeah,
dynamics
they
now?
have changed for sure. They have changed because in India for a long time, and I think up until now, there were a lot of sponsor activities which are just the vanilla stuff, with the touch and feel stuff, which we say, whether it is meet and greets or whether it is just simple tickets into a stadium or into your corporate boxes or access to the VIP lounges, etc. But obviously, all of that is out of the window right now. We, as Delhi Capitals, were able to hit our targets, even though we were affected by these elements, and I think that speaks volumes for the effort put in by the sales and the marketing team. But yes, definitely, everyone has to look at it differently. We have to see things in a new perspective. Digital engagements are how the world is going to function for the near future. I mean, you and I are doing this live because we can't sit face to face and do it. So, I think that everyone has come to terms with it. Sponsors have come to terms with it, and yes, there may be some corrections, but at the end of the day, it's a bit of give and take, all in all.
That's great. You mentioned Delhi Capital, which has been actually capitalizing a lot on this IPL. And last year, too, you guys have been really phenomenal. So, how has the entire revamp been for you guys, for Delhi Capitals? Because it clearly is paying off really quite well.
Yeah, it's been great. It's been a very challenging 2 seasons for us. We tried to bring in new ideas, new perspectives on everything. And I think, happy to see that it has paid off this quick. We were expecting it to take a little bit longer. But all in all, really positive with the way the team is shaping up. We're getting into the business end of the tournament, as everyone says, and it's important to keep the momentum, keep winning, and that's what fans back home are expecting of us.
So that's great. I mean, I wish your team very well. So IPL has begun, as we know. ISL is due to start. So what is the new normal like? You've obviously experienced IPL and ISL. Unfortunately, it's going to be just one venue, and I'm not sure like fans also not going to be there. And ISL is really picking pace. So now, what do you see as in terms
The
of
new the
the
new
new
the new
sports?
normal is the new normal is multiple days of isolation, quarantines, COVID tests, wearing masks and keeping social distancing, physical distancing, and being playing in bio bubbles and being away from your family and your fans and your friends for multiple periods of time till your season's over. So it is going to be extremely challenging. It's challenging mentally. It's challenging physically. And that's something that players have to cope with. Management has to cope with. Support staff has to cope with, because that's the only way to get the show on the road right now. And we're happy that the IPL has gone through smoothly. We have a couple of weeks left, and looking forward to I would say a little bit more challenging football season, because it's a little longer. It's 5-6 months, and that's going to be even more tougher for the players. So yeah, I mean it's a tough one. It's a tough one all in all.
So, in terms of sponsors, when you go out in the market and you look for brands or sponsorship to associate with, what is it that you look for in brands? What should be, what's the level, or maybe say a level field which you kind of try to look for when you reach out to a particular brand or sponsor?
Well, it depends. Each team and each franchise has different objectives and different benchmarks with what we're looking for. With cricket, we are Delhi based. They're more there's a bigger interest, and there's it's a more of a mass appeal that fans are looking for and sponsors are looking for. Whereas with football, it's still a little bit more focused. We do see a lot of interest from Bangalore based brands that want to be associated with us because of our presence and because of the fan base that we have been able to generate and create. So it really varies. We ideally long-term associations. We want to work with the same group of brands all the way through, and we're slowly starting to see a lot more brands wanting to be associated with us across all our teams, and that's something that we're very happy and excited about, where they see sense in being associated with us through the IPL season, and then following that up, usually with the Kabaddi season, and then leading to ISL. So we do tend to provide them almost 8 to 10 months of live action on the sports channels, which is something that makes life easier for brands as well. They have only one set of people to deal with. We have one set of people to deal with, and that's slowly starting to happen. So yeah, like I said, it really is finding the right partners depending on what each one's objectives are.
So, you also signed up with the Rangers in Scotland. And how's that coming? I mean, what was the strategy behind doing that? And we've seen our women football also playing for the same now. So, what has been the entire strategy of tying up with Rangers in Scotland?
Well, I mean, almost from day one, I would say, of starting off BFC, there have been a lot of European teams that have approached wanting to collaborate, wanting to have some sort of an association with us. And for some reason, it never felt the right match. Didn't feel like we were getting the right objectives out of it all the way through. But all through the Rangers conversation, it felt like they were the right type of people, the right team that we wanted to associate with, and it was a mutually beneficial relationship, and we're extremely happy with the way things have shaped up over the last year and a half. I think there's a lot more that we had planned. Unfortunately, with the pandemic, we couldn't execute and we couldn't follow through with it, and have had to push it back by hopefully not too much longer. But I mean, it's been great. I think they've enjoyed it as well, and we are also really happy with the way things shaped up.
So, obviously, PFC is very big, and we've seen JSW, investing in across multiple sports. We've seen kabaddi, cricket, of course. What is the future you see for football in India?
Oh, we've always been very bullish on football from our I League days, and we've been strong believers that it is too big a global sport not to be successful in India. And we're very happy with the way it has progressed. We've transitioned into the ISL and seeing a lot of traction and a lot of growth in the sport, the popularity of the sport, the popularity of the league, and we only see that continuing. So, from our perspective, we would really like to see the sport grow more, which would help in the popularity of the team and popularity of the league, and all in all, Indian football benefiting. So from our perspective, I think we're seeing a lot more younger, talented players coming into the league, whether from all over the world. We're seeing high quality coaches coming into the league in their prime, not when they're looking at it post as a post retirement plan. So it's a lot more competitive and engaging, and I think all the positives to see football really grow in India.
What all is JSW Sports doing to promote sports in the country?
Well, as you know, we're very committed towards a whole host of sports through our franchises, football, cricket, and kabaddi is covered. And then through our Olympic program, we have athletics, swimming, boxing, wrestling, and judo. So from our perspective, we're very diverse in terms of our commitment towards the growth of sport in India, and we will continue to do that. As of now, I don't see us adding too many more sports on, but I think there's still a lot of work to be done with the ones that we are already committed towards.
Obviously, you talk about athletes. There are a lot of athletes who practice in IIS and everywhere. So, what do you think are the Olympic chances of some of these athletes?
I mean, it's a tough one to answer because of the conditions that we're all going through. They're all obviously working very, very hard, but at the same time, they've not had enough competition. They're not prepared to the way that they would like to prepare. But we're still very hopeful of seeing some very standout performances. Bajrang, Neeraj, they're all right up there when it comes to the best in their weight categories or in their respective disciplines. Sakshi, Pooja have yet to qualify, but they are very, very experienced contenders once they get to the big stage. So we're very, very excited about what's in store for us, but it's going to be a challenging year for all of them.
Also, we spoke about it's been a challenging year, and when we talk about challenging, obviously mental health is something which we as a country haven't focused much on. I mean, obviously now we've started to give it the due importance it deserves. But how do you think we can further accelerate our position in terms of looking after the mental health of the athletes, and what is it that JSW is doing?
Oh, it's very important, very, very important. We've been working with sports psychologists all the way back from 2016, from the time we kicked off our program, and we continue to do that. We've further extended that now with BFC for starters, to look at not just sports psychology, but counseling and support across the board, irrespective of whether it is related to sports performance or not. And we totally are committed towards the mental side of things. It's a very, very big part, and I think more so through this 6-7 months of lockdown, have people gotten more and more exposed to the importance of it, and the impact that it has on just normal life. And you can just multiply that when it comes to peak performance and high performance. We do recognize that it is a very important factor for us and for our athletes, and we're very committed towards providing our group the best we can.
That's great. Obviously, Mustafa, you've been an former international tennis player yourself, and you've been on the both side. You've been as a player, and now you are part of the management. So, how has this transition been? Like, what are the learnings? How well you have put in your dynamics of playing into management, and what has been the journey for you like on a personal level?
It's been great. I some parts have been really easy. When I say really easy, it's all everything related to the actual sports part of the business, relating to athletes, understanding their needs, providing for their requirements. Making sure that they are at the best that they need to be. So that part has been really, really good. The challenging parts or the bigger learnings have been more on the corporate side of things, whether it is being part of a very, very big JSW organization that has its systems and processes in place, which you need to adhere to, even though you are a very, very small part of the entire conglomerate. But rules are rules and structures are structures. So I think those aspects are what I have had to really work on and get to understand better. Also, I think the biggest thing when you're an athlete is that it all circles around you. You are the center of everything, and you take your calls, you take your decisions, you win, you lose. It's all on you. Whereas now you're working with a much bigger team, and it's not It may not be high priority as everyone as it is for you. Everyone has their key focus areas. So certain elements of patience and you know I guess maturity comes in when you have to deal with these situations and deal with being part of a big organization. But I'm really happy with the way our entire team is structured. We have a really good group of young boys and girls that are part of our setup, and they're very passionate and committed towards seeing sport grow.
Also, talking about tennis, so is there a due focus which obviously you will try to bring into tennis as well in India? Because obviously you being a tennis player, one would expect football is covered, kabaddi is covered, cricket is covered. Now, will we see something in tennis?
Oh, good question. If it was a passion project, yes. Right now, other than that, not really ventured into tennis. It's been something that I would love to do, but I think as of right now, we're very focused towards the sports that we are already engaged with, and maybe down the road. But right now, unfortunately, the answer is nothing on the horizon.
So JSW Sports, as we know, is also working in conjunction with states as well. We know JSW partnered with Odisha, and so what is it that brings out? What is it like working with state governments for a corporate like JSW? How easy or difficult it is?
Well, I think Odisha is a bit of an outlier in that regard. It's been extremely easy. They have a brilliant group of people that are committed towards seeing sport grow, and very proactive, very committed, and very focused. So in that regard, it's been a breeze. We really enjoy working with them and are looking to do more and more stuff with them. So that part's been easy. Some other states are a little bit more challenging when the wavelengths are not aligned and the focus areas are different. So yeah, we've had our challenges, but when it comes specifically to Odisha, I think it's been standout, and it's amazing to work with them.
Also about PKL, will be seeing a lot of PKL activities this year, and what's on agenda for PKL for JSW? Like we know, like Kabaddi has witnessed soaring audience in terms of broadcast. So what do you think PKL brings to the table, and how surprised maybe were you when you realized a sport like Kabaddi? Because obviously when initially the audience saw it, everyone was like, oh, Kabaddi, like so what is your opinion or take on
Yeah,
that?
I think we were all in the same boat we are fascinated with the sport, the way it has taken everyone's attention, and the way it has grown over the last 5 6 years. And we're very happy to be a part of it. We're looking forward to the next season. Unfortunately, we couldn't get a season this year, and we're confident and hopeful that next season will be we'll see the PKL back and in a bigger and better form. So yeah, it's a sport that somehow has got everyone's fancy, young, old, men, women, everyone seems to love it. It's easy, it's quick, it's not too technical. So it's great for television, and it's great even as a spectator sport. I've taken so many people in to watch our games when it's happened, and they've been their first time, and they've come away absolutely overwhelmed with the experience. So it's been fun.
That's great. I one my final question would be to you is, now everything is going to be technology, like you earlier said, we're talking like this. So how is JSW leveraging technology? Because I obviously, I spoke with Rashti a month back, and they were talking about they developed an app where they keep track of all the athletes in terms of COVID. What are these measures? If you could, elaborate on everything which is
So
being done.
we've always been very. I mean, you've been just interacting with us for a while. We've always been very tech inclined. We've always been very science inclined. Whether it is in terms of performance sport, or it is now in terms of fan engagement, fan activation, marketing, promotions, etc. And we continue to do that. I think we've tried to bring in whatever we could in a very short span of time for the IPL. We're looking at some stuff with regards to the football season, and we will continue to keep adding on things. Learning a lot from the leagues abroad, learning a lot from teams in the US and Europe on what they do, and how they are using this time, using this scenario to leverage their fan base and keep things engaged and interactive. So yeah, I think we will continue to keep pushing forward on the tech side and using tech for everything that we can do.
That is amazing. Thank you so much, Mustafa.